On today's video, we'll put together the B1-Battle droids from Shatterpoint, and we'll take a look at the different challenges that come across putting together plastic models. Welcome back, gamers. My name is Ricardo and this is We Play Games. Today we are going to be putting together the battle droids for Shatterpoint. I've been really excited about having this game and starting to play this game. I've been listening to a lot of comments on the Facebook group that these are a pain to build. I am aware from experience AMG does produce a lot of components to their models, so it takes quite a lot of work to put one model together. As we could tell right here by the sprue in front of me, I'll be looking at the screen now. This particular battle droid is the same one as here, and it looks like we have one from 1 to 10. So it looks like we have 10 pieces for one battle droid. So each one should probably have 10 pieces. But I just want to point out that this battle droid and this battle droid is supposed to be the same from what I gather here as far as the numbers. And then we have from L11 to L20, and over here on this side we also have the same part numbers. Where's L11 right here, and L20 down here. Lastly, on the other sprue we have the third pose for the battle droids there. So there's two frames for that one, and this one is here, and this one starts at L21 right here to that should be L30 somewhere. There you go, L30 down here. So this video, if you are a veteran model builder, you already know all of this. This is probably more guided towards someone who's beginning their miniature wargaming experience, dealing with this type of frames and amount of pieces to build a model. Just some things that I recommend you doing. So let's go over the tools first that you will need. Very basic stuff, at least for now. Clippers, set of snips like this ones with a flat side, so that you could try to get the flat side as close together to the connection between the actual frame and your piece. So for example, right here on L09, as you could tell, if I cut right here, I'm not gonna do it right now, but if I cut right there, I'm trying to cut it as close as possible to the piece. Okay, I don't want to do it this way. If I do it this way, first of all, I might damage the piece, and second, if I don't damage the piece, I'm gonna leave more of the sprue here, so there will be more cleaning once I get the piece out. So anyways, clippers or snips like this with a flat side. X-Acto knife is always helpful. If you're using this to cut because you don't have this, what I recommend you do is have a cutting mat like this one, or any hard surface where you don't mind damaging the bottom of it. If you're gonna be cutting this with the X-Acto knife, just be careful. First of all, always cut away from you, right? Don't cut towards you. What I recommend with having such small pieces is apply a small amount of pressure down into your hard surface before you cut, and then you just push down. The reason why is because sometimes if you don't do that, so let's say I cut this one and then I come here and I do the same without applying any pressure, the pressure from me pushing down into this might make the piece fly off, and sometimes it's really hard to find them depending on your surface on your floor. So be careful about that. Try to always have some pressure into the piece, or hold it or something so it doesn't fly off. Even using snips, sometimes you might want to do that. Hold it, cut it, you know. Another thing that I recommend you having around when you do this is a small container. So off reach from my hands, I have, this little Tupperware. I'm gonna put them here. The reason why is because while I'm building, let's say we're gonna build the torso, which is probably what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna try to do this numerically, and I'm gonna build a torso and put those two pieces together. While that's drying, I don't want it within my reach, so that as I'm moving tools around, I might bump it or something happens and I that piece goes flying off once again, and then we don't know where it is. So while that some pieces are drying, you might want to put them away and then keep working on the rest of the model. So this is my first time doing this. You are watching this with me live. We're doing this together. I'm just kind of pointing this out so that if I make any mistakes, you don't do the same. And hopefully I could give you a couple tips along the way. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. I'm using glasses, by the way. I don't need glasses for reading or watching TV or anything like that, but I am older now, and definitely helps me when I'm doing models and dealing with these small contact points. So I might be doing this a lot. The reason why is because I'm looking at the screen to make sure that it's on. You guys are seeing what I'm seeing, and I can't see that screen with these glasses on. But anyways, let's go ahead and start with L01. Once again, I'm gonna flip this around, rotate it so that I'm right-handed. So this contact point is on my right. So I'm cutting as close as I can to that point right there. Now be careful, because sometimes you'll see here. I'm gonna show you right now close. I'm gonna cut this piece right here. So if you are new to building models, be mindful that sometimes, so for example, let's see if I could zoom in here. So let me zoom in on this piece so you can see this. So this is L01. Let's see if that focuses. And by the way, my camera is not super steady or fast and sharp. So if you could see right here, the battle droid has these two pieces that are probably for the legs, and those are meant to be part of the actual piece. Sometimes the frame from building the model, the elaboration or the fabrication of the sprue, um, it's kind of hard to tell where the frame ends and where the actual model begins. So always take a look at the other side to see what's there and what's not there. So here I was able to, cut it really close without cutting that piece out, because we need that, right, for the leg. So anyways, we got L1 here. I'm gonna put it here on my little tray, and then let's start cutting L2 now. So let me zoom out a little bit. All right. So L2, once again, I'm cutting. So here I'm cutting really close to the edge right here. And as I'm doing this, I'm holding it with my fingers, both of them. I'm gripping the piece and I'm cutting, okay? What you don't want to do is hold this and cut this like this. So let's say I was holding it here and I cut a piece. The moment I do that, that piece might fly off to my left. So you want to do that slowly. So anyways, now that we got these two pieces, once again, there's no instructions on doing this, but I'm pretty sure we could go ahead and safely put the torso together. So let's go ahead and dry fit this. You always want to be dry fitting your pieces so that make sure that they fit correctly, that nothing looks off, or you might have to trim something down. So here I'm just cutting a little piece of just cleaning the piece out a little bit. So let me see. Okay, so yeah, so here we go. We are cleaning this a little bit before I glue it, but it looks good. Now what we need to do is, this is plastics, so I rather use plastic cement, which is here from Tamiya. I got this at Hobby Lobby, 549. I don't know if it's new or how old this is. I had it for quite a while, so might be a little more now. But what you want to do with plastic cement is apply it to the contact points and anything that's gonna be, yeah. So let me see. It's kind of hard for me to tell if this is on focus or not with the glasses. But anyways, as you could tell, there is a peg here that obviously fits into that area right there. So you want to make sure that that contact point definitely has plastic cement. However, the flat area around there and here also has is contacting each other. So there's a lot of contact in this piece. So you want to have most of that areas covered with some plastic cement. Now you don't need a lot, but I do recommend that you use it on both sides. And what we're gonna be doing now, let me see the waste. That's where you drive it. Okay, there. Okay. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be putting some plastic cement on both sides. Trying to show you. So now this is very liquid. It's not thick at all, so it kind of runs everywhere. So be careful when you apply it. You don't want to use too much. You want to put it into all those contact points. Now after I apply it, I like to leave it there for a couple seconds, maybe even blowing it a little bit just to, it starts getting tacky. What plastic cement does is actually melts the plastic. And once you put those two pieces together, you end up forming basically one piece. So I usually like to blow on it a little bit and then go ahead and use it. Now it's been a couple seconds, so we could go ahead and probably put these two pieces together. Now be very careful also. These are very small, but normally what you don't want to do is grab the area that where the plastic is getting soft. You don't want to grab that, because if you grab that, actually, hold on. I think I need a little more here. Okay, so you are trying to avoid grabbing the areas that are soft, basically, especially when you push the pieces together. So I went ahead and put them together, and then I'm pressing a little bit, not too much. I'm pressing a little bit. One thing that's also normally I use is small, tiny, um, like alligator clippers. Not alligator clippers, more like paper clippers. The ones that are for like 20 pages or higher or something like that. Something that's not gonna crush the piece, obviously. I'm not doing it right now for that same reason. This is a very, very small piece, and it's probably gonna be too strong. But anyways, so while this is drying here, so we got this piece, 1 and 2. While this is drying, we're gonna put that to the side, and we're gonna start cutting some of the other pieces. Now, this stuff right here is smelly, so make sure your room is well ventilated. So I got a fan running on the back. And I got the door open as well, but it's not too bad, but just be mindful of that. Now the next piece, if we go in order, looks like it's the head, which is right here, and of course the camera's not focusing again. Oops. Okay, so we got to L4, which looks to be the back part of the head, I believe, and L5. So L4 is going to be the one that we need to be very careful with, because it's super tiny. So we're going to turn this around, hold it, and cut it small, carefully. And I'm bumping the camera with my forehead. But then I'm looking at this here. Now this piece is, okay, I noticed that. Okay, let me see if I can zoom in this. Okay, so this piece is so tiny, so freaking tiny, it's insane. But anyways, when I clipped it, it was on this side. Depends um how perfectionist, what kind of perfectionist you are. But I know that I left a little bit of the sprue there. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be grabbing it on the side, and just be very careful with this, and scrape it with my X-Acto knife just a little bit here. But you know what? This is such a small piece that I don't even want to mess with it. So I'm gonna put it away for now. Once again, I'm gonna put it in my Tupperware over here, and it's out of reach. And let's go ahead and let's get the next piece, which is L5, which is the bigger part of the head. Has the neck, seems like it has the neck. Once again, always move the sprue around to make sure that you're using your dominant hand. Flat, the flat piece of the snips. There you go. So all the time, every time I'm cutting, I'm pinching the piece that I'm cutting from the sprue, and then I'm cutting. Once again, I'm cleaning with the X-Acto. I'm just kind of cutting, and what I'm doing is I'm using the sharp side of the X-Acto blade, of course, and just kind of cleaning where the sprue was. So here, as you could, hopefully you can see here, you know, I cut it from the sprue, but there's still a little piece right there. So let's go ahead and take that piece off. Okay, so we got the head and we got a tiny little piece. The tiny little piece, L4, looks like it goes there, right? I remember the droids have these little antenna looking things on the back. So let's see how this fits. And we gotta be very careful right now. So, all right, so let's see how this goes. Okay, I see. So this is painful. Okay, no wonder people hate this. Okay, you see the little, of course it was gonna fly off on camera, wasn't it? So the little piece right there goes in that back of the head right there. Okay, so once again, let's dry fit that. I'm sure it's supposed to be done going up. The antennas are supposed to be facing up. So we're gonna do this like this. Oh my God, this is gonna be a nightmare. Okay, so I don't want to move it too much because obviously it's not glued yet, but yeah, of course it was gonna fly. Okay, I'm just gonna glue it. So let's go ahead and drop a little drop inside the head. And let's come back to this piece. Now, I'm not gonna put any on this side. There was a lot that I dropped in there, so I'm just gonna let that there and push this one in. Okay, so there you go. That's what the cat looks like now. All right, I think you can see that. So anyways, it was facing up, okay? So let's put that there. So we got the torso and the head put together. Let's go ahead and cut the legs, but we're not gonna glue the legs just yet. We're just gonna cut them. So we got L9 and L10. So here we go. Now I'm gonna be doing this a little bit faster now that you know what I'm doing. L9 and L10. L10 has 3 contact points, so just cut them as close as you can. All right, so we got those 2. Let's, oops, man, keep bumping the camera. I tried to set up my camera for this video so that you got a really close look at the pieces and everything, but it's so close that I keep bumping the camera. In fact, you can kind of see the camera right here, right over my head. So anyways, I'm just kind of cleaning. Okay, so that's clean. Now, sometimes these pieces are so small that it's really, really hard to tell. But if this was a bigger piece, so let me show you maybe something bigger here. Let's see. Okay, here, perfect. This is Anakin. So Anakin piece A04 right here. This is a weird angle, so the camera might not catch it. I'm gonna move it a little bit actually here. So A4. Besides cleaning the contact points from the sprue to the piece, sometimes you have these mold lines where the mold basically meets the other part of the mold, where it's like half and half, and you see a line through that piece. So sometimes you get to see those on the actual pieces. So for example, here on Anakin, it's not that visible, I don't think, but you could kind of see it right here. So if you ever have those small areas, once again, use the X-Acto knife and then just drag it like this, you know. And the reason why you do that is just because when you apply primer, all those areas are gonna pop a lot more than you will see on just regular gray plastic. So before you start painting all of that, you don't want to see those lines in your painted models. You want to clean those lines. Now, so I said at the beginning of the video that these are the standard tools that you will need, at least the snips and a X-Acto knife, obviously plastic cement, a hard surface to cut on. However, I do have this other two that I don't know what it's called, and I had it for so many years that I don't even remember where I bought it. But this is basically a well, it has two heads, but each one of the heads, one is at an angle to reach, like, I guess, deeper areas. But this is kind of for this particular type of cleaning of lines and mold lines and stuff like that. So once again, like right here on this one, I'm gonna move this here. So on this, who's this? Is this? This is either. I think this is one of the clone troopers, maybe Cody or Rex. I'm not sure, but one of the clone troopers here. You kind of see the line right here. You drag this piece, and you kind of clean that line like that. So as you could tell, like I kind of drag some of the material off the leg to clean, to make that area right here smooth. So this is helpful as well. I kind of, depending on what I'm doing, either I use this or I use this. I feel like I have a little more control with this than with this, and I feel like I could apply less pressure with this, and I end up using maybe sometimes more pressure here. But it works great. I don't feel like I ever destroy model or anything like that by using it. So, but okay. Anyways, let's continue. The reason why I said let's not put the legs together just yet is because I don't have a base yet. Normally, what I like to do is glue a leg or have the base at least here before gluing. So I'm just dry fitting right now. And normally what I like to have is have the base so I could kind of have an idea of where do I want him and what kind of pose do we want on this guy. But let me go ahead and I forgot to grab the bases. That's a different sprue. So let me cut the video here for a second and I'll bring a base. Okay, I'm back. So I got these bases right here. I'm gonna just go ahead and cut one of the two. Yeah, I was about to cut on the wrong side. Actually, let me show you what happens if you cut the opposite side of the flat side, obviously. So if I cut here, and then I'm gonna cut the rest with the flat side. So obviously the side that I cut using the opposite side has a lot more of the frame left. So there's a lot more cleaning to do there. That's why you want to use the flat side closest to your piece. Just be careful not to cut any of the piece that you're cutting, obviously. But let's go ahead and use this. Now we use the X-Acto knife, just kind of clean a little more. So see, you can hear me probably scraping that piece off a little bit. And that's it. All right, now where are we here? So okay, so this one, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and okay, so this is the front. Wait, no, this is the front. Okay, that's another thing to be careful with. It's obviously this back area. You could kind of tell that there's the peg right there. That's probably for the backpack, and then this is the front side of the model. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of dry fit him together, which is gonna be really hard because they're really small. But I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. So here and it's gonna be a nightmare. Okay, well, what I was trying to do is try to put the two legs together to make sure that they're standing on the on the flat surface. But since that's not really possible, because this is so hard, that's what she said. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of glue like we did before on both legs so that they start drying. One more here. And then we're gonna put a little bit of glue here. So obviously we're gonna have to hold this while this is drying, and that's gonna be painful. Okay, so what I'm gonna be doing right here, which is I'm purposely letting it cure, not completely, but enough so that I could basically move this around and figure out where stuff is. So while that's drying, I'm gonna go ahead and use the other leg and do the same. So I just put a little more right there. Now this cures, it takes a while for this to cure, but it gets tacky enough kind of fast so that you could start figuring out where stuff is. So for example, right there, and of course this is on my fingers are all the way there, but let's see if I could. So what I'm trying to do right now is hold it in a position where the legs are flat on the surface, but of course they're still touching the hip of the model. So it's really hard to tell at this angle, but my legs are still moving. Like if I let this go, obviously the pieces are gonna come off, but I'm holding it so that the legs are still flat on the base. So see now if I move it up, kind of in place now. So I'm gonna see if I could let it. Well, there you go. Okay, so now obviously this hasn't cured completely, so I don't want to just leave it there. I want to probably rest it on some blue tack, which I should have prepared for. But if you have some blue tack, maybe you want to rest him on blue tack like this, upside down. Also, blowing on it helps. So since I didn't prepare any blue tack, I'm just gonna slowly put it here on my container that I have on the side. And we're gonna go ahead and continue with the next piece. Now this obviously is taking a long time and I'm making the video, so obviously it's taking longer, but this shouldn't take you that long. Once again, if you're a beginner, I'm taking this slow and steady for you guys out there, for you guys to keep watching this and follow along so you guys know what to do. But if you're an experienced modeler, this is probably super fast. So I'm doing the first one slow and steady. The next ones I'm probably just gonna do at a normal speed that I would probably take, and I might even speed up the video at that point and just show you the intricate pieces that I find along the way. But so we got the backpack now off. Okay, and we got after the backpack, which is L03, which I actually escaped to do the legs and all that stuff. But L03 was the backpack. What I'm noticing here now that really sucks is that there is two pieces, L06 and L07 for one arm, while L08, which is the one holding the blaster, is just one piece. So I'm just cutting all the pieces now. Actually, you know what? We're gonna cut L08, but we're not gonna cut the other ones yet. And I'm gonna show you why in a second. Okay, so this obviously is still, damn it, I keep bumping this. This is still tacky and soft, so we just want to be careful with this, but we're gonna go ahead and apply the backpack. So here we go with the backpack, and is that focus? Kind of. So backpack there. This one is easy. It's a very big piece, so I'm not too worried about putting too much contact cement or letting it rest for a while before applying it, because it's such a larger piece that is gonna get there. It's gonna stay there. So here's a backpack. Now I'm purposely not putting the head into the very end. I like to put the head at the very end, because if you make any mistakes, if there's something that you glued maybe wrong or just a little bit weird, and you cannot unglue it, at least your model is facing the right way. So like if he's, so let's say this guy right here. So if he's just pointing up like this, let's say we did something like that, it could maybe be looking this way instead of looking that way, where it would be blocked by the blaster or something like that. So I don't want to glue the face just yet. Let's go ahead and glue this hand. You know what? Okay. Actually, hold on. Let me go ahead and cut these two pieces. So where are we? Here. So I'm guessing the reason why this is the way it is so that we could use these two pieces to hold. So he's holding, so he's right-handed. So right-handed blaster, and with the left, he's, you know, holding at the bottom of the blaster. So I think that's the reason why we're doing this. And by the way, I'm doing this, stupid me, without actually looking at the pictures from the box, which I should be doing. Let me grab the box for a second just to see. Okay, well, I'm here. The box was too far at the moment, so I figure I'd take a look at the manual and the core rulebook, and if I see any pictures, oh damn, they're tiny. Okay, so yeah, so he's in a firing position. He's just in a firing position like this. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing is he has, oops, bumped up camera again. We're gonna put a little bit of glue there. Now we're gonna put this there, and we're gonna hold it. Some kind of, holding it like this. And we wanna make sure that he's, pointing towards the camera right now, so that it looks like he's firing once we put the other arm there. And now we could go ahead and let go. Obviously, you wanna be careful. That's not has not sealed completely, but it's tacky enough that it holds its own weight in place. And we're going to go ahead and use the other arm. So here we go. We got to be careful with this piece. This is a small piece, L7. Okay, get the drill. L7 here and L7 here. Okay, and then L8 or L6, I guess. Couldn't tell where was the end of the. Now, one thing I haven't talked about is that you don't always need the clippers. I prefer them. But you could also just use your hands and just force to get the pieces loose. So here I already cut one piece. Obviously, if I start like just moving this piece around, it'll just come off, right? There are pieces that are obviously harder to do. Like let's say we're trying to do this backpack. It's probably doable, but it would take a lot more force because there's 3 contact points. So it will be up, down, down until it comes loose. I'd rather use tools and be more precise and then run the risk and cut something off that I didn't mean to cut. But anyways, I just wanted to point that out in case you don't have any tools at all. You could run the risk of doing it that way as well. Okay, so let's see. So then I'm gonna keep bumping this camera. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so on this piece, which was L07, we could see here on this side that we have the peg to go into the hole for his arm. And then we got the actual arm holding the weapon, right? So this is what sucks about, like, I think it's great that they give you this. Well, I don't know if it's great. I think it's good that they give you the option, but it's so hard to figure out the right angles to put these pieces together. So once again, what we're gonna do, and that's what we use contact cement. If we were to use super glue, oh no, that will be a nightmare to try to get this done properly. Because you know, once I put this piece here, for example, right now, it will be done. That will be the contact point. There will be no moving of that piece. But with contact cement, we got a little time to work things out. So let's do that, and then let's do here. I don't focus. I'm sorry, guys. If it's not focusing at the time that I'm doing it, but I think you get the gist of it. So like right there, I put a lot of glue right now. I did not mean to put that much, but it should be fine. Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna put this here. So I put it, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm holding it and I'm purposely making sure that the hand down here, the blaster, is touching the blaster. And I'm holding this. And as I'm holding this, I'm gonna be pushing the other one too. Now, as I'm doing this, and I was doing this, I don't know if you saw it on camera or not, but the legs at the bottom, they're still haven't set. So they're still, I still move them. So let me actually do it. Okay. It's not much, but I can still move them a little bit. So you want to be careful while doing this. And then you want to verify that everything still fits right. Oh, now obviously there's more weight on his right, so he's gonna fall. But yeah, he looks fine. I'm not gonna glue him to the base just yet, but he looks good. And then lastly, we're done. I got a little bit of hair or something there. So now we are ready for the head. And that's why I left the head for last, so that I can make sure that he is facing the right way. Now that I see this, as I say this, I notice now that there's only one way to place these heads. Because I did not notice that there's an actual tab right there. So there's a tab where there's a hole right there. I did not notice that. Kind of more used to heads having just a round neck, and normally that lets you just move the head, you know, make it look right or left. But anyway, let's go ahead and put some glue there, a little bit more here. Now the reason why I like using glasses is because I'm watching the figure here. I don't see that, and these are not super powerful glasses or anything, but they're from the Dollar Tree reading glasses. But as I put these glasses on, and as I could tell also on the camera, as I'm gluing this out and doing all this work, I left a little bit of the cleaning debris on the shoulder, and now that the glue is setting, it kind of became more noticeable. So here, I just want to grab that out before it gets too hard. Anyways, so we're done with this one. Not gonna glue him to the base just yet. I'm gonna wait until I have all three of them ready, and then decide how to place them. Now, what we're gonna be doing here is, I'm gonna put this to the side to let it dry and cure completely. I'm gonna now go ahead and do number 2, battle droid number 2 and battle droid number 3 the same way I just did. However, obviously there will be 2 more poses, right? We have 2 different poses. The legs are bent differently on these ones. The head and the torsos are the same. The backpack is the same. Only difference is only difference is the legs. Let me look at this one. The legs is different. Oh, damn. Sorry guys, I keep bumping myself. The heads are the same. The backpacks are the same. The elbow bent, it's slightly different. So I don't know if you could say this one here. See how the elbow is bent a little more than that one over there. And this one, which is on the other sprue, this one's the same as this one actually. Looks like this one is the same as this one, but not the same as this one right here. So this one's a little less bent than this one's. And the legs, obviously, that's very obvious that the legs are different. But the torsos should be the same, and backpacks always the same. Heads should be the same. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna put the torsos, heads, backpacks, all of that together, and then I'll just show you the leg pieces and arm pieces of each one. So I'm gonna speed this up so that you guys don't have to, have to watch me forever to doing this. Okay, so see what I said at the beginning of the game? At the end of the game, beginning of the video. If we make any mistakes, do not make the same mistakes I did. So one thing I did at the very beginning, thinking of the back of the head of the droids, thinking of antennas. Antennas usually go up, and I would kept thinking like, that looks a little weird after I put it together. But the reason why is because they're not supposed to be facing up; they're supposed to be facing down. Now, and I just kind of did this, which of course now is really hard. Well, anyways, before I continue on that last droid, before it gets too late, I could probably still. See, now it's really hard. Okay, so no big deal. Actually, let's try something. So I'm gonna, before I commit to doing this and show you this by the droids, I'm gonna make sure that, yeah, so I was right. Yeah, I knew they were looking a little weird. Okay, so here's one thing that you could do to correct mistakes if you ever make one. Obviously, it's not recommended to make mistakes. You try to avoid those. One thing you could do is reapply plastic glue over the area. And hopefully, such a small piece here, just a little closer. Okay, so see, because we apply glue again, it comes loose. And I'm able to turn it around. Now, I don't want to be touching it much with my fingers at this point because it's very tacky. Okay, so I was able to change that around. Okay. So now that was the first one. Now the second one. Let's see if this one hasn't been that long. So maybe we could. Nope, still pretty hard. So I have to apply some more glue here. We don't need much, and you don't want to use much because it starts melting the plastic. Remember, so I let it sit for a little bit, then I start slowly moving it and pushing. See, okay. Let's reapply some glue right there, and then and this thing is so small. And the reason why a lot of people are frustrated with AMG and their design team is that we don't understand why they make decisions like this. Maybe obviously it's easier to make this small without that piece, but the neck and this was a piece. So if the angle of the mold is an issue, how did you do this? Right? I mean, I don't know about mold making. I don't know how that works. I could be completely talking out my ass here, but they managed to make this one piece. How hard was it to make this whole piece, the head and the neck, one piece? Or I think in this case, I much rather have the neck separate than from the head and have this being one piece. They were able to make this angle. I'm sure they could make this angle. So rather having this tiny little piece, this piece and this piece separately. And this is a much larger piece. This is also a piece that could probably be easier replaced if someone loses this piece, rather than to figure out how to make this piece replace that piece. But anyways, as I was recording I was building the last model, I noticed my mistake. Good thing we were able to fix it. But now To continue on with this model, let's go ahead and glue this piece the right way on the back of the third head. And once again, I'm just gonna speed this up so you don't have to make this too long, which it's probably already a long video, but there you go. So that's the right way. All right, so let's continue. Okay guys, so this is it. This is the final result. We got the 3 battle droids glued to their base, and we are done. So yeah, it was definitely a process that takes quite some time, but as long as you're patient and careful, you should be fine. We fixed those mistakes on the head as we pointed out before, so that's how they look right there. And I was a little concerned about them not looking great, but I think once these are primer and painted, they'll be just fine. Thought I was gonna be losing some detail due to taking them off, re-gluing them, but you could tell right here they look pretty good. So well, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it gave you some idea on how to start building your models if you are brand new Hopefully this gives you a pretty good example of what it is to build models and be a miniature hobby enthusiast. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Let me know if you have any issues with any other models that you might want to see me put together. I already put a couple different ones together, so might not have it available, but let me know. Leave a comment, consider subscribing, and thank you for watching. Bye.